Hinging is one of the hardest movements in the gym to master, and rightfully so. It requires a lot of mobility that a lot of us don't have or know how to get, and that's what this video is for. I want you to understand what's going on with your body when you're trying to hinge and what happens with a good hinge, so you can try to put the dots together, talk about some main ideas, what you should be considering generally when you're hinging, and then set up. How do we get more out of the hinges that we're trying to do, regardless of what variation we're trying to accomplish? So main ideas with hinging. Number one, stop pinching your glutes. Stop squeezing your hips like this all the time. Stop over thrusting your hips forward like this. And then when you're trying to attack your deadlifts or your squats, don't go out of your way to squeeze your glutes. If you're doing the movement pattern the right way and you're in a great position and you're executing the exercise how it should be executed, your glutes will work. And the reason why we don't want to do that is because if we're pinching our glutes the whole time, our pelvis is going to be pushed and shifted forward like this. And the main movement when we are hinging or shifting our hips back is we want nutation of the sacrum and an opening of the posterior outlet. We want this to be able to open up. If you are squeezing your glutes 24/7 and you're reinforcing that at the top of all your lifts, you are closing this off. This is internal rotation of the pelvis, and even though it happens on a very, very small level, it changes the way that the pelvic floor interacts with the path of the movement, and we need that to let go so that our glutes can let go. You got to be able to lengthen your glutes to strengthen them. So we want that posterior outlet to open up. We also want the femurs to be able to internally rotate and roll inside like this, which again means our glutes have to lengthen. So number one, stop squeezing your glutes so much. Don't overthink about it. Think about the exercise you're trying to execute and do it to the best of your abilities. Now, we want the hips to go back. It is a horizontal shift of the pelvis. A squat pattern is a vertical shift of the pelvis. A hinge is a horizontal shift of the pelvis. Those aren't strict ideas. Those are the ends of the continuum. There's obviously tons of different exercises between those two that make some hingier squats or squattier hinges. But the main idea with hinging, if we want to bias the glutes and take out the hamstrings and the lower back, is we really want to master these general ideas. We want the hips to go straight back. Imagine that there's a bullseye behind you. Okay, so hips go horizontal. And the main idea number three is imagine that there's a bullseye behind you. So literally when you're setting this up, you want the hips to shift back. So if I'm standing straight up, imagine there's a bullseye right behind my glutes. As I'm shifting my hips straight back and I'm teeter-tottering forward like this, I want my sit bones that are pointing down right now to kind of come high and go straight towards that bullseye. So we don't want to be sinking and sitting into this, okay? So main ideas, let's recap. Stop squeezing your glutes. The hips go back, but don't force it, right? We don't want to shoot them back too much because now I'm starting to get a little bit more hamstrings and I'm too heel heavy. Those two things we'll talk about here in a second. And then number three, there is a bullseye behind you. There's a high bullseye right behind your hips, standing level right here. It's on the wall. Shift your hips back, go get that bullseye, okay? Now let's talk about setup and how you can put all of those main ideas into executing a hinge the best of your abilities. So number one, we want to stack. We want the ribs parallel over the hips. We want to exhale. We want to find those obliques because those obliques keep me in line. It pulls the ribs in line with the pelvis. If you can feel these guys on the sides, those chonks right there, and you keep those on, you can worry a lot less on, is my pelvis still neutral? Am I letting things sink back? If you are stacked and your pelvis is neutral, you can manage pressure inside your system better, which means that posterior outlet, like we just talked about, can open up and those glutes can lengthen. But if your body can't manage pressure in the midsection, your pelvic floor and your glutes are going to stay tighter, which means you're going to have to feel like you got to squeeze and you got to push those hips back, and then you're going to feel all hamstrings and all lower back. So number one, stack, get nice and tight, manage that pressure, and keep your knees soft. Best way to find that stack when you're standing is with your knees soft. If your knees are locked, your pelvis will be probably tipped forward a little bit. Soft knees, find your stack. Number two, the knees stay put the whole time. As you're shifting your body back like this, a lot of times remember main idea, don't force your hips back so far that your knees follow. If you force your hips back too far, your knees end up in this position. You're going to feel so much more hamstring. If you're trying to bias hamstrings, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. But if you're trying to bias more glutes, keep those knees soft and stationary just over the shoelaces. So find those shoelaces, keep them there. Number three, even pressure throughout your foot contacts. We want heel, ball of the big toe, and the ball of the pinky toe. When you're doing hinges, it's an internal rotation exercise, requires a lot of IR in the pelvis and in the femurs. So keep pressure on the ball of your big toe and the inner heel on both feet, or single leg if you're doing single leg RDLs the whole time. So we want to sink back like this, and then we want to push through those inner contacts the whole time to get that internal rotation. Look what happens with my knees. When I push through the floor, I'm getting that internal rotations coming up all the way through my hips, and I'm going to get a better IR deadlift that's all glutes, okay? Number 4, we want to keep the hips high, hit the bullseye, right? We want to soft knees, foot contacts, hips high, hit the bullseye. Boom. Let go of your glutes. Open everything up. Think about opening that door, lengthen them. Get down there. Inhale as you go down. If you're doing mobility, inhale at the top and hold your breath. If you're doing strength sets, but let those glutes go. Lengthen them on the way down so that number 5, you can push through the floor and pull your back pockets down when you stand up to shorten the glutes. You don't have to think about squeezing anything. Think about wearing a pair of jeans, you got your back pockets. Back pockets are here. I'm going to pull those bad boys through my heels, and I'm going to push through my contacts to stand straight up. Your glutes will do their job. You do not have to think about squeezing them. The mind-muscle connection is really more about, are you in the right position? Are you stacked? Are you executing the movement well? How is your setup and your execution? Are you keeping your body weight kind of in front of you here so you can feel all 3 points of contact? If you end up heel heavy, you're not leaning forward. Notice I can pick my toes up when I do that and my knees shift back. So you don't really have to think about leaning forward, but when you're loading the bar, if you're trying to feel the balls of your feet and your heels, you'll notice you have to shift your body forward to get your hips back further, lengthen to strengthen. Okay, so let's recap. Stack number 1, soften those knees, stack it up. Get those obliques on. Keep that stacked position the whole time you're teeter-tottering. This thing stays in a straight line the whole time. It's all hips. Number 2, the knees got to stay put. We want the knees right over the shoelaces the whole time. Sink them back and feel those foot pressure contacts. That's number 3. All 3 points of contact, but emphasize the inner 2 contacts. Balls of the big toes inside of your heels without losing the outside. We don't want the knees diving in, okay? Number 4, we want to make sure that we keep the hips high, hit the bullseye. Bullseye right behind my glutes, go get that bullseye. Keep them nice and high, okay? And number 5, we want to push through the contacts to come back up. Do not squeeze your glutes or try to lift the weight because you're probably going to pull through your lower back. Push through the floor to stand back up. And last but not least, do not force your hinges. You do not have to have some arbitrary depth. If you're trying to go all the way to the ground, but your glutes are not used to lengthening, it is going to be back. It is going to be more hamstrings. So limit yourself. Let's say put your deadlift bar on blocks and work heavier weight in a shorter range. You're going to get better glute activation. You can earn more range by working within what you can own. There's a lot of coaches out there that are screaming at you, full range of motion no matter what, but everyone's range of motion is different. If you want more that you can actually use, you got to slowly progress yourself. So backing off or regressing to make sure you can feel what you're targeting and you can let the glutes do the work for you instead of it always being hamstrings or always being lower back. You got to find that window that you can work with. So that is hinging 101. Really hope you guys use these tips because you will execute your deadlifts so much better in your next session. That's how it's done, guys.
Very nice. I like.